Please be advised of the disclaimers.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Sai with Pinnacle Trading here. Today we're going to take at the VIX, VIX. What is it? Does it really represent when markets are going to crash or what's going to happen? Let's jump into it. This is going to be a crash course on the VIX. So as we can see, markets have been selling off this entire week since the other week, and we've just seen a continuous downtrend. As a result, what happens and when do we know kind of when to stay out of the market or when to jump back in? This is an indicator. I look at the VIX. So if you can look at S&P 500, let's jump back here on the 30-day chart. We kind of seen a nice recovery from May, and then once we started heading into June, mid-June, markets just started dropping. So what happened with the VIX? It's kind of the inverse. We saw it come down. This is basically like the fear or volatility. It's not a stock you can trade, it's just an indicator. You can trade these on other symbols, I'll show you later, but this is just like the fear or index, and we can see that came down as markets went up, and then once it just jumped up, people got really panicky and they panic sold, market started selling off, and we just saw a market drop, come down. So let's take a look at S&P 500, a chart on the 30-day chart, and then we can also take a look at VIX on the 30-day chart. So I have both of them pulled up here side by side or up and down here. So S&P 500, we see it come down, sell off, we see VIX rise. Anytime this goes over 30, that's when we kind of want to stay alert in the market, most likely a sell-off or a correction. When it's below 20, 10 to 20, it's about fine, that's about stable. Wherever markets are going sideways or steadily up, that's where it is. Whenever it's below 10, it's pretty rare, but that's when markets are super stable, or everything in the market, nothing crazy, no big moves up and down. And I made a quick cheat sheet right here if you want to take a picture or note it down. As I repeated, usually the VIX level is between 10 to 20. 10 to 15 is the ideal range. That's where we see the green solid arrow. And when we get to 15 to 20, that's when we want to say, hey, this is where markets might pull back, maybe a small sell-off. Let's tread a little bit lightly. Let's be cautious what's going on. So that's where we have a lighter green. Once we start heading into 20 to 25, you may already start seeing markets sell off, and you may already start seeing panic in the market, a little bit of a correction, maybe a crash coming. We don't know yet, but this is just an indicator of what may happen. Once we get into 25 to 30, that's a tricky area, because let's take a look at what happened on this one when we got to 25 to 30. So when we went over 25, take a look at this. 25, immediately big red candle. I'll zoom in on this one a little bit more. So when we went over 25, immediately big red candle. In the pre-market, markets might sell off in the pre-market, in the after hours, day before, and so once we head over to 30, we just see markets come down, and we see it kind of stabilize as we see VIX going sideways over 30. So let's jump back into the cheat sheet. We can kind of see anytime it's over 30, that's a big indicator to, if you're just day trading or swing trading, to kind of stay out of the market, because it's going to be, if you're more newer to the market, you want to be a lot more cautious in the market, tread very lightly. And if you're long-term investing, it's probably going to be a solid time to add to positions as people are fearful, buy when other people are fearful, sell when other people are greedy, is what Warren Buffett says. I'm just quoting him. But anytime I've seen VIX go crazy like that, we've seen markets sell off. So anytime over 30 is where we usually see markets sell off. Not just that, but also a lot of volatility. Let's take a look at S&P 500 today. We can see volatility up and down. If we pull up the chart, we just see up and down, all crazy going on in the market. So that's when VIX is over 30. But when we see VIX kind of come down to about 10 to 20 area, that's when markets are pretty stable. So take a look at 527 to 610 and take a look at VIX. If we look at the 180-day chart, so 527 to 610, so that's about right here. When we see the VIX kind of come down, we see the market pretty much stable. And Let's take a look on this one. We've seen markets actually come up, and take a look at this 527 to 610. When we take a look at the chart, it's just sideways on this one. And what happened on VIX, we can also see that if we look at the chart, same thing, it just kept going down and down. So that means the fear went down, the volatility went down, and markets were pretty stable. So again, let's recap really quick. When we see VIX between 10 to 15, very solid, markets are going to be very stable. And 15 to 20, that's where we want to get a little bit, tread a little bit lightly. And then 20 to 25, most likely going to keep going higher on the VIX and see markets more volatile. 25 to 30, markets going to be very, very volatile. We've also seen it go to 60, 70, 80. I'll show you historically how high the VIX went. And let's take a look at the 20-year chart. Back in 2020, we've seen VIX go up to 80, which was insane. The COVID sell-off, 2008 went up to 89. So when insane things happen, black swan events, market crash, recession, things like that, VIX is going to be off the charts. Most likely it's going to come down again. Anytime it's spiked up like that, most likely it's going to come back down again. And then same thing, market stabilize, and then it's just a cycle. Market is cyclical. So that's basically a crash course on the VIX. I would say pull them up side by side like this on TD Ameritrade, or just pull it up on whatever platform you're using and just kind of see how that plays out and get more understanding and why it's a big indicator. The VIX itself you can't trade, but like I've said, I'll show you which one you can. You can trade UVXY. This is a decaying ETF, 3X ETF. So make sure you know what that means. You can also trade VXX, and there's many other ones as well. Hope this video helped you out. It's supposed to be an educational video on how the VIX works and just a quick crash course on that. Make sure to join our chat room, completely free to join. We have day trading, swing trading, long-term investing ideas, and a lot more in the VIP section. If you want to learn more, just like what I showed you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Make sure to join our chat room. Head over to my website or link in the description below, pinnacletrading.us. Join the chat room completely free. If you want to learn more, like I've showed you today, I offer everything from stock market education, how to trade and invest, and some of my secrets to you to cut your learning curve through my course. So make sure to check that out, Pinnacle Trading course on my website.